David Hutniak, you are the CEO of Landlord BC. What is Landlord BC and what is your role? What does it include?
Well, Landlord BC is a nonprofit industry association. We're basically representing owners and managers of rental housing who provide secure long-term rental housing through the private sector. So it's private sector housing solutions. Landlord BC is actually an amalgamation of three associations that happened in 2013, I guess, but the collective entities have a 60-year plus history in British Columbia. And our core mission is to try to professionalize the rental housing industry through education support, but advocacy is also critical to all levels of government, but particularly to the provincial and municipal governments on the legislative front to ensure that, we have a strong rental housing ecosystem.
What does your membership look like?
Well, it's representative of the rental housing universe in British Columbia. Close to 2/3 of rental housing is provided by the secondary market, which is folks with basement suites or investor condos, smaller, often called mom and pop type landlords. There's, then the primary market, although it's not typically described that way, but the primary market then would be the owners of purpose-built rental, the apartment buildings we all know. And within that cohort, Vancouver has a long history of many families, frankly, the last 60 plus years who started building apartment buildings and grew their portfolios as multi-generational. And then there's the institutional investors in rental housing here in British Columbia who have been an important part of our sector for a long time and increasingly have grown their portfolios here. And that's pension funds, real estate investment trusts, et cetera. So it's kind of an interesting blend of housing providers and then wrapped around that, I said that owners and managers, that's our constituency. So licensed property managers are really important part of our membership, and we, really enjoy or appreciate, the work that they do in the sense that, for many of these small landlords, they're not professional landlords. They are looking to provide some housing or to maintain their own housing, and these licensed third-party property managers are really a huge resource for these people. I mean, they charge for their services, but I highly recommend that if someone is interested in becoming a landlord with a basement suite, what have you, to actually get professional management so they avoid some of the errors that many of them make.
So your job, are you just managing that membership, or is that part of it? But you also indicated that you're advocacy. So what does a day look like for you addressing different areas of responsibility?
Yeah, well, I'm really blessed to have a great team of colleagues. We're a lean and mean organization. There's about 8 of us, an important part of what we do in the context of our members is we have what's called a helpline. We're actually the only landlord association in Canada who has sort of a dedicated team. It's like a call center for our members. It's legislatively focused, so they have a real hands-on approach with our members to help guide them through the legislation. And then within the broader organization, obviously brand building and marketing, communication is real important. So we have a small team there as well. And then government relations or advocacy currently is largely my responsibility. We have within our board, we have a government relations committee and the broader board as well, who we constantly liaise and strategize in terms of what those activities might look like. But yeah, I guess it's fair to say that I'm the face of the organization, such as it is. But yeah, building relationships with government. I've been doing this for 9.5 years, and that's been the constant key to my role is to make sure they know who we are, the issues we're facing, but do it in a constructive, consultative manner. We have partnerships really at the end of the day within government, but it is really about ensuring that we have a strong rental housing industry, and making sure that renters have access to safe, healthy, and secure long-term rental housing.
So how did you get to this position? Like, what kind of qualifications did you have to have? What did you study when you went to school, and that made you say, yes, I can see in the future I'm going to be the head of an association of landlords?
Yeah, well, nobody thinks that way. And I like to kid that I got the short straw, but I really love what I do. I think anybody who goes to university, barring some very specific academic path they're going down, but you have a general business degree, what have you, from many, many years ago, you never know really where you're going to end up. And I think I'm not unique to say that it obviously post-secondary education gave me opened some doors in terms of jobs, what have you, but I never really leveraged my education beyond that. It was just, I worked in consulting, HR management type consulting for a big part of my career. And then immediately prior to this opportunity, I was actually involved with a couple of smaller tech companies. As I like to joke, they needed somebody with gray hair to help, raise capital, what have you. So I played that role and some mentorship, just because, again, I'd been involved in business for quite a number of years. And Landlord BC was just sort of very much an accident, and that was just looking for something different, and connected with one of the prior organizations, and with the amalgamation about a year after it, was asked to take on the CEO role, which was something that I looked at it as a startup company.
You had to invent the organization and the role.
It was 1 year old. No one really knew what Landlord BC was. So the goal for our team was to build that brand and build those relationships and make sure that we're at every table. And that was it was challenging as heck, but it was really fun. It took a few years, literally, to sort of get to a place where we were comfortable to be able to say, we're more or less at every table, and today we're at every table that we want to be at. And I think the values of the organization and the board, as the board down, we have a code of ethics for our members. We're a progressive organization. We're very focused on diversity and inclusion. I get nasty emails all the time from, or just things on social media from people who are, this is the negative part of being the face of this particular organization, this particular industry. But I'm confident that government and various stakeholders we deal with, et cetera, know that our organization we genuinely care about renters. That we know it's very difficult to be a renter today, and so we're really focused on just trying to work collaboratively to find solutions to improve the rental housing ecosystem for everybody.
Last question here. How important is it having what appears to me to be an entrepreneurial mindset to be able to take a nascent association and then grow it into what it is today?
Well, that's a great question. Well, I obviously am a little biased. I really felt that that was critical. We were an unknown entity. No, we were a startup, and that was that's just kind of innate to me. I am entrepreneurial, and so it was just a perfect opportunity for me to take everything I know, and sort of that whole attitude about startup, let's build a brand, let's go for it. So it was fantastic, but it was really the appropriate sort of approach. So I know that some of the directors probably were, kind of scratching their head when I laid out, the vision. But we quickly proved that it was the right vision, and it was just a matter of continuing to build upon it. So it was, those early years were really exciting. Now it's just continuing to build on that, but again, it's easier in the sense that we're a well-known entity and trusted advisor and partner. So with a whole bunch of stakeholders, including government, obviously.
Well, you went from that exciting startup phase to what is now appears to be satisfying, rewarding in the sense that you feel like you're doing work that has impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still really enjoy what I do. This is the thing. It has changed, and because we're in a much more challenging time, economically and in terms of rental housing. I like to say that I morphed into a housing advocate, and which was kind of interesting for me personally, but. For whatever small little influence I might have on the sort of housing debate and rental housing in particular, I really want to try to make a positive contribution, and so yeah, there's tons of work to do yet, and it's all solvable. That's the frustrating part, but just got to keep working at it.
Well, thanks for giving us a glimpse into your world.